The X factors in this series, our friends over at Bright Side of the Sun. In a series like this, you've said it many times, and I don't disagree. Your stars have to play well for you to be able to win.
Your best players have to play well for you to win.
But you also have to get valuable contributions from your role players too, right? You can't, and they point out in the article, Torrey Craig last year shot 14% from 3 against the Denver Nuggets.
Terrible.
That didn't help.
No, they had their role players last year were terrible.
Mikal Bridges against the Mavericks a couple of years ago vanished in that series. That didn't help. The two that they've identified, and I think rightly so, are Jusuf Nurkic and Grayson Allen as two guys, two X factors who have a chance to play real, strong, complementary roles. I think Nurk is a little bit bigger than Grayson Allen, only because I think if he gets in foul trouble, that is really problematic for the Suns. Because then it forces Frank to either go with Drew Eubanks,
go small with
or
KD
go
at the
small,
5.
which you could argue maybe he should go small. I think he should go small over playing Drew Eubanks in those moments, but then he'll have to be faced with that choice. What do I do here? I think Nurk is the bigger X factor than Grayson, but I think Grayson's an X factor too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to disagree with that. I mean, Nurkic, because if he gets hurt or he's in foul trouble or he's missing his free throws, I mean, that's going to hurt them. He's been a really good defensive player this year when everybody knocked that part of his game. Like, he's done a good job protecting the rim. He's been a really good rebounder. He stayed healthy, which nobody thought was going to happen. If I would have told everybody at the time that Nurkic was going to have this type of season, everybody would have not been on board for making that trade. He's 100 times better than anybody thought. People looked at him and they said, he's not a good defensive player. I'm like, but he actually kind of is. Like, he's been a good defensive player. Not great, but good. Does a good job rebounding, and it's a strength. I mean, that's a part of a defensive game is rebounding the basketball. He's a good rebounder.
The two things I was concerned about when he came here, number one was just availability, and he's answered that bell. He's led the team in games played this year with 76. The second thing was that there was kind of this knock on him out of Portland that sometimes he's a little disengaged. Sometimes he's not fully present with what's going on the floor and playing with kind of everything he's got. That has not been the problem with Jusuf Nurkic this year at all. He has been, now sometimes his passes are kind of sloppy. I think he thinks he can make every pass on the floor and he can't, but he tries anyway. His ability to finish around the rim is not very good. He misses way too many bunnies, and that's something we came to expect. But the dude plays hard, and that was one of the knocks on him, was that he doesn't play hard all the time. He plays hard. At least he has played hard all the time for the Suns, and he's been very available. That deal has been a home run for the Suns organization that they moved Ayton for those two players. He does, however, and they point this out in the article, no player in the NBA has committed more fouls than Jusuf Nurkic, and that becomes problematic for the series for all the reasons that I just talked about, hopefully. And we even just saw it this past Sunday when the Suns played the Timberwolves. Nurk picked up his fourth foul early in the third quarter. That was the quarter where Gobert, it was just like, and one. They kept throwing it to
lobs up to him.
And they kept fouling him, and he just kept making shots, and you can't have a repeat of that. So hopefully he stays on the floor as much as he can.
Look, I would expect next year that the Suns go out and try to upgrade the backup center position as one of their priorities. I kind of like Drew Eubanks. There's a lot of people that don't. I don't get it. He plays with he hustles. He plays hard.
He's just so limited offensively. There's not that much he can do out there offensively.
I like his role. I do. I like his role, but I'm expecting that they try to upgrade the backup center spot.
I don't even think it's that people don't like. Well, maybe it is that people don't like Drew Eubanks. I'll give you that. And I don't prefer him either because I think he's, like I said, so limited offensively. I think it's also that people want to see the small ball. And Frank has been teasing us with the small ball, giving us little bits here and little bits there. I was looking at some numbers today, like really advanced, like metric numbers. Look at me bragging. Look at me. I was doing my homework for the show today.
What did you do today? I was looking at advanced
some advanced.
All that homework for the Gambo show?
And
really?
I know, right? Like, I'm not even, this isn't even my show. What am I doing? What am I doing
I
homework
appreciate
for?
your support to the Gambo show. I do.
The numbers when the Suns go small, it's impressive. Now, defensively, there might be a little bit of a liability, especially against a big team like Minnesota.
Offensive numbers?
But the offensive numbers that they put up when they don't have a true center on the floor, it's just like, and that was, I'm kind of going into a different story here, but the Ringer did a story today with like their 13 biggest questions going into the playoffs. One of the questions was specifically about the Suns. How often will they do small ball in the playoffs? Because I think that's where I got the numbers from. It's lethal. When they do the small ball thing, it's lethal. And I think that's some of the Drew Eubanks hate comes from just wanting to see a centerless lineup out there for a little bit.
3 teams. Minnesota has the center. Denver has a center. Oklahoma City doesn't really have a center. So there's 3 teams that all play a little bit differently. Minnesota's got a defensive-oriented center. Denver's got an offensive-oriented center. And Minnesota's got a center that weighs about what Lauren weighs.
She's working on something on the computer. Yeah. I don't think she heard you, but I thought that was very funny.
Never supposed to ask a girl her weight, but
don't. Yeah, don't.
Right,
and don't do it. Don't start now.
I'm just saying that Oklahoma City has a center that weighs about what you do.
Oh, man, I swear, if Lauren
104, 105,
if Lauren,
Gambo,
110 pounds,
easy. Gambo, easy.
If Lauren had superpowers, if she had superpowers and could shoot laser beams out of her eyes, you'd be a melted hunk of flesh right now. She would just burn you down to the ground with her eyes.
You got my point, though, right? They're center skinny little nothing.
As awkwardly as you made it and as inappropriately as you made it, yes.
Inappropriate. Stop trying to get me in trouble.
I got your point. I'm not getting you in trouble.
Yeah, because you want it to be the Dave Burns show.
No.
That's what he wants.
No, not at all. Yeah. Alex Morello wants it to be the Gambo show. I know that. Quote, I think I misspoke when I went on the Gambo show and I said they were coming. That's not correct. He was talking about the Tucson Roadrunners. I think I misspoke when I went on the Gambo show.
It's like when Mitch calls for guests. He goes, you want to come on with Gambo? I'm like, okay. And then the day of, he goes, there's another guy on the show, too. Just if you hear a voice, his name's Dave. No, go get me an iced tea.
Now I'm going to go get you an iced tea.
I didn't think it was a specific suck. I thought it was like an all-encompassing type of suck.
Are we done
this
yet?
one too.
Is the show?
No, I really don't like any of the listeners. I did not. Okay. Now you guys really want me out now.
Yes, we do.
Like
making inappropriate comments to Lauren, and you're dissing our listeners? Yes, it's going to be the Dave Burns show before you know it. Gambo loves our listeners. Before you know it, it's going to be the Dave Burns show, and Alex Morello is gonna rue the day he ever called it the Gambo show. You just watch.
I'll just go tend to my olive trees.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.